the series that delves into the transformative landscape of healthcare technology in India. The health tech sector in India is expected to grow rapidly in the coming years. In 2022, the health tech sector in India was valued at around $10.6 billion. By 2025, it is projected to grow to around $21.3 billion. Some estimates put the market size at $78,374.3 million by 2033. Each episode unravels the stories behind groundbreaking innovations, spotlighting visionary startups, futuristic hospitals, and the brilliant minds driving the health tech revolution. Our first guest of this series is Shamik Banerjee, the Chief Marketing Officer at Apollo 24/7, where he spearheads the brand's digital and marketing strategies, driving growth and innovation in India's healthcare sector. Shamik's leadership ensures that Apollo 24/7 remains at the forefront of delivering accessible and quality healthcare solutions to millions across the nation. Welcome to ETStudios Tech Heal in association with ET Health, the show where we showcase cutting-edge innovations and technologies that are transforming India. Today we have with us Shamik Banerjee, who's the CMO of Apollo. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for calling us.
You've been here in the health landscape for so many years now, and you've witnessed the sort of change that we're going through as a country. Talk to me about the technological transformation and the digital transformation that you see in India today when it comes to healthcare.
Very interesting. We'll go to the technological advancement that made treatments more scientific and more efficient. We'll go to that later.
Mm-hmm.
But I joined healthcare through the insurance space, and which actually got in more usage for healthcare, and that's where I think the development started in a big way. You see, this is the only space where technological advancement actually increases the price.
Yeah.
Right? In all other places, when the economies of scale comes and big machine comes, the price comes down. But healthcare is a space where if you want to do the best quality treatment, actually the cost increases. And that needs to be supported by a financial tool. And that is only possible if we can get the pooling of the risk. And that happened in India very late. It's about in 2005-06 is when health insurance was seen very seriously. And that's when the people actually had the affordability to come and take the best treatment.
They gave me an interesting insight into it, saying companies were offering it for free until then.
Health insurance was never free, but that is the time when insurance was heavily tariffed. So fire, marine, engineering, motor, they were tariffed. And because they were tariffed, health insurance was de-tariffed. So insurance companies used to use health as something to actually get their best deals. So they never took health insurance seriously. Second thing that happened is to manage the health insurance, it's a very cumbersome task. So there's something called TPA started, third party administrator, who actually took a lot of heavy lifting to make sure that they liaison with the hospitals, and they could actually do it because they were working with multiple insurers. This too changed. Second thing that changed is the technological advancement, the internet of this country, the world came in. Hospitals took it very, very seriously, and they transformed their operations, they digitized their operations, they digitized their reports, they digitized their tracks. That helped to create a clear blockchain. That brought in the insurance companies, the global investors. You see so many insurance companies now, about 61 of them now, who is there in the country. And then we had the SAHI, in 2008, 7-8, when the SAHI came, there was Star Health Insurance and Apollo Munich, Apollo DKV started. That's when people saw insurance strongly. And once the insurance became strong, the technological advancement started to create impact. That's where we saw so much advancement.
And also, you at Apollo have also been digitizing the patient's health journey for quite some time, I discovered. As early as 2003?
We always believed that, healthcare is a continuum. And when you're in a continuum, you constantly leave your health footprints. And the moment we can connect those footprints, I not only can manage your condition much, much better, I also can get global expertise. At the same time, I can also predict. So in 2003, we had something called Health Highway. The vision was, if I can put all the health records at a one place, which is accessible across the globe, then I can get the global expertise to actually see it. Data can actually fall on it, and I can predict and help that guy or that person to actually manage his condition much better. It is our chairman's vision much ahead of time, and I think the internet needs to be very strong because in healthcare, the data is all unstructured. You don't get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get ECG reports, you get ultrasonography reports, you get videos. They needs to be deciphered. You need bandwidth. I think health is still there. It's very, very useful. But from that, what we have now built is something called PHR. We call it physical health records. 90 million people in this country has left strong healthcare footprints when they touched Apollo. While keeping the full data privacy and the sensitivity around it with us, what we did is we stacked this data for research and forecasting onto a data lake. 247, Apollo 247, it was built on top of that. So that anyone, when you download the app, you put the thing and you put the phone number, all your reports shows up on the app. Wow. And you are not alone in this world. You're part of an ecosystem. It's an abundance of data that actually can predict, help you stay ahead of the curve. That's how we took this journey.
For instance, if I'm ordering a certain medicine at this point in time, right? And you have access to so much data and you're like, oh, she probably has the same viral that everyone else in our area has. How will you suggest some medicines to me? How will that go about?
If someone is having a problem, for example, a flu, and he or she needs a medicine. When he comes to our app and orders, we get an Apollo doctor to call that person. Consult him or her in the way, and if that doctor believes, he writes a prescription. He underwrites a prescription, and that prescription then gets distributed. But what we do is very interesting, and I think this is a new feature, and I think everyone of us should use it. We have something called drug-to-drug interaction. So when you're buying two drugs, we have an algorithm made. It's called high power. It actually finds out if the two drugs are interacting the right way.
Indicative.
And if these two drugs doesn't work good for your body, we tell you. Doctor can supersede it, but we tell you. Second, what we do is, we do not know that loads of drugs we should not have with alcohol. We should not have before meal. Those things we very upfront put it. For example, I'm a diabetic person and I take certain medicine. In that medicine, clearly I can't have with alcohol. So I have to really plan, and that came from the understanding of it. Otherwise, my liver would get hurt. Right? So you can always plan. If you know the facts, if the data comes to you, you can do much better. That's what technology plays in healthcare.
And also Apollo as a group, right? You just mentioned that you have details about 90 million people. The data is so rich, and you also have a robust ecosystem with Apollo Diagnostics. You have consultation as well. Everything I can do via your Apollo 24/7 app. What else is in the offering?
In 2005-06, right? Insurance came and played a very important role in IP, that is inpatient cover, when someone goes to a hospital. But as we all know, of the 100 rupees that we spend on healthcare, only about 30 rupees get spent in the hospital. 70 rupees get spent outside. You're nearby a pharmacy, doing a small test, doctor consult. I think what we are trying to do is, the amazing amount of data not only enables us to, see, we are very sensitive about personal information, because healthcare is very sensitive, but this data that we have helps us precisely predict what type of people would need what type of support. And that's a morbidity data that India never had. We can actually predict what is the OPD expenses they have, and it's our platform. It's our medicine. We can actually get the medicines. We can actually get the doctors. So if someone consults our doctors, and the doctor writes a medicine, doctor writes a test, what stops us from giving it as a part of insurance product or a financial product, right? Because we underwrite. The doctor is saying he needs it. So there's no way of any distrust or fraud, because it's our doctor, our medicine, our test, our reports, and we take care of our believer, right? Who is on our platform. That's what I think is the next big thing. And that is only possible if we have superb data management platform backed by great technology platforms and the right intent to solve a problem.
And what about technological interventions on the app? You were also talking to me about an ECG app where I could upload my ECG results, and what you said was amazing.
See, two things I personally believe which will be very, 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 very dominant in the next few years. One thing is more and more infection.
Okay.
We are seeing every day we hear some new infection.
Correct.
Because I think COVID started the water and there's loads of infection, and because of the food habits, the plastics we have and a lot of things, infection is very prevalent and it's touching various parts of our body and what pollutions and everything. That's one. So infection needs right time intervention and sorting it out. That's one. The other thing that will happen is predictive healthcare. I want to live happily. I don't want to be caught in surprise. So the example I was taking with you just outside is, for example, we say that ECG is not a great test, right? You go to a doctor, they say you do treadmill test, you do this. We have got a solution where if you just upload your ECG with us, with a 99.16% precision, I can tell you if you have a chance of a heart attack in the next 8 months. Because we have built this platform over the last 10 years and we got data to suggest, and we are very specific that we can actually catch small changes. So I think a lot of predictive point of care sort of a platform would come. And you know how to get an ECG, you don't have the machine. It's a small tablet you put on your knee and sit for 5 minutes. If you put on your knee and sit for 5 minutes, your mobile app will have the ECG, it goes to the app, and 250 rupees is all you have to spend.
Oh my God.
And it will predict if you have, in the next 8 months, there's a chance. Say every 3 months, put it on your knee.
Wow.
And heart attack is gone. So like this, I think a lot of technological changes, which is use case basis, will come into play.
So now with the vast amount of data, there are also concerns about data privacy, data security, data being used ethically. How do you handle all of this?
Very, very important subject. Very sensitive subject. Because in healthcare, this is data privacy is paramount. Now what we have done is when we structure the data lake, we got the personal information absolutely hidden under the treasure box. Okay. But what we did is we identified how to hash the data for a research purpose, for predictive purpose, so that I can help the other people who are coming in. So this is divided by a very close group. So data privacy is paramount for us, and I think we are very, very sensitive about it, and we comply with all the global regulations and laws that we do, and we go ahead of it, and we know that this is something that we can't go wrong even in an iota of things. We have a very strong team based out of Bangalore which sits out of that. So data privacy is paramount. But what we do is, what we have done is we have created this data lake which enables us to pick the data from there and actually predict, actually do much better. So that's what helps us to stay on the right side on data privacy.
All right. So you anonymize the data and then you work on it.
For analysis. Yeah. See, it's very spooky. So tomorrow if I write someone that, your medicine for certain disease is getting, he'll say, how do you know? And I don't want you to know, right? It's a disease, it's a condition. So it's very spooky. We never go that path.
Correct.
We never go. And also we only say that your medicines may be getting over, because I can predict that your medicine needs 10 days and you bought 10. So I say, your medicine might get over, you might want to buy it, I bought the card. But I don't want to say that this medicine you should take or this is.
That's very difficult for you indeed, because in the e-commerce space, everyone wants to be very specific when addressing somebody, but you have the opposite problem because privacy is so important and you don't want a notification popping up on someone's phone.
I think Shilpa, this is another thing that I think the world that when we were born 45 years back, the world has a problem of scarcity. We had scarcity of everything. Correct. Data, food, travel, car. Now the problem is abundance, right? When abundance becomes a problem, you need to choose what to do or not to do. And I think we have been this space for a very, very long time to understand the importance of it, right? So I think, yes, you are right. Many a times my CRM team will say, but it is in the genetics, the code of the company that it can't go there. It will never go there. It's got filters and we don't have visibility now also to those data.
Thank you so much, Shamik, for joining us and for sharing with us your rich experience, your insights into the world of health, and your sort of predictions about the healthcare space as well.
Thank you so much, Shilpa.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you so much for watching. And for more such enriching conversations, remember to stay tuned to ET Studios Tech Heal in association with ET Health.